Hi everyone, welcome to Cheltenham Chat episode 7. Today's episode probably going to be one of the most ranting episodes I've had. I'm going to go through Cork, I'm going to go through the Honeysuckle thing, and I'm going to say my piece, and say my piece also on the McNally IHRB thing as well. The BHA get a lot of stick, and rightly so, but I think the IHRB want it here as well. I don't know what they think they're achieving with the McNally thing, but if they say they're cleaning up the sport, they've got a lot of cleaning up to do, and I'll be going through that. But before I go through all those things, I want to wish everyone who watches the videos a very happy Christmas. It's probably been a tough year for everyone. And I just want to say, have a really good time with your loved ones. Enjoy it and have a great Christmas. And I want to wish you all a great 2023 as well. And hopefully the videos can improve, as we go along, but also find a few winners. So I'll get on to Cork, on to Honeysuckle and Ron McNally. But before that, I want to wish you all a great Christmas and a great New Year. So on to Cork now. So getting on to Cork, there were some good performances at Cork, but I do think at this time of year when there's very few meetings on, it's very easy to get overexcited about certain performances. Arctic Brazil was very good, and so was Blood Destiny. Impervious 5-1 for the Mayor's Chase after beating Dino Blue. That I'm not convinced about that sort of price. She's a novice just going into open company now, and should she really be that priced to beat Ellie May, the current holder, and Scarlett and Dav, who had a good scrap last season? Is Impervious really a better horse than those already? I remain to be convinced. The Nergamine was taken in quite a bit in price for his win, considering he beat really nothing, and he did have a couple of quirks in the race as well. I'd far rather back Edward Stone each way than back Energamine to win the Champion Chase at the moment. That's not saying that Energamine ran any sort of poor race, it just means I'm not convinced. The one I was impressed with was Hidden Valley Lake. Now, the top and bottom price here are very different. 8-1 is quite reasonable. 5-1 is very skinny for the Albert Bartlett. This was a taking performance though, and he's going to go to the Albert Bartlett, which is always a good thing, that his target, and he's got a plan mapped out of races that Henry de Bromhead has always had in mind for Albert Bartlett types. So at least with him, it's the target. He's shown his well-being. It's a good race that he's won. He's beaten good yardsticks in Monbeg Park and Cool Survivor. It was probably the most taking performance at Cork for me, where most people were taken with Impervious. If you were on the prices like 14-1 before the race, that I think Ginger Joe put this horse up on one of his videos. It's a nice victory, but is it a 5-1 for the Mayor's Chase victory? Not for me, it isn't. I'm sorry, but as good as it was, I don't think she should be as short as that. And Energamine, like I've said, was a good performance. Arctic Brazil is going to go into a very difficult division with jet-powered Facile Vega already in there. It's very difficult to be backing Arctic Brazil on that win. Blood Destiny has got Lossymouth in his stable. It was a good win. I wouldn't say on a normal weekend where you're watching a lot of races that you would have been running to back Blood Destiny for the Triumph Hurdle. Although the price is decent, you have to take everything into context. And I think when you're only seeing one meeting over 10 days, it's very easy to get slightly carried away with the manner of victory when you're not seeing other horses come out and you've got nothing to relate it to. It's very easy to get overexcited with certain races. So for me, although I was quite taken with some of the performances at Cork, we have to put into context that it was the only meeting on, and it's been overanalyzed by a lot of people. That was my assessment at Cork, but now I have to go on firstly to Honeysuckle and then to Ronan McNally. The Honeysuckle comments. I have been the hugest fan of Honeysuckle. I backed her for the Mayor's Novice. I put her up on the videos for the Mayor's Hurdle. And I've loved her wins in the Champion Hurdle. She's a Champion Hurdle, dual Champion Hurdle, going for 3 Champion Hurdles in a row. And they're thinking of going to the Mayor's because they might lose. Simply pathetic if they don't go to the Champion Hurdle. And I don't care if she loses in the Irish Champion either. She should still try and get a 3rd Champion Hurdle. What happens if Constitution on the morning of the race, Constitution Hill, has a stone bruise and she isn't in the race? She can't go for the race. Constitution Hill could fall. Anything can happen in a 2-mile hurdle race. And the fact that the champion won't try and retain her title because they think she might lose is absolutely ludicrous to someone like me. And I will call out people when I think it's absolutely scandalous. Don't tell me for a second that Kenny Alexander needs the money. We want to go out on a win. Winning the Mayor's is going to prove absolutely nothing to anybody. And I don't think she'd get that great a reception for winning a Mayor's Hurdle, beating up inferior rivals. That's what she's been doing all her career, in real truth, because she hasn't won the greatest of champion hurdles. But if she came back, she'd show herself to be a real champion if she could get close to Constitution Hill or beat him. It's like Argentina winning the World Cup and not wanting to defend the World Cup because Messi's not playing, and England or France or Germany have got a good squad, and we don't think we're going to win. So we're not going to turn up. We'll play in a small tournament against Venezuela and Costa Rica and Honduras because we'll beat them and we'll win something rather than win the World Cup again. We're not going to try because without Messi we can't do it. I mean, it is absolutely... I can't believe it, actually. I cannot believe they won't go for the Champion Hurdle. I mean, for me, I'd be looking at 10-1 Honeysuckle as a possible bet for the Champion Hurdle. If they go to the Mayor's Hurdle, any respect I've got for any of them will be gone. If they go to the Mayor's Hurdle, and I'd actually want them to get beaten as well, because that would seriously tarnish her image if she couldn't even win a Mayor's Hurdle on her final appearance. I mean, I know it probably seems harsh to people, but I will say it like it is. I say that Walsh never tells anything out the yard, so everyone's screaming and roaring that Walsh is this great pundit when he tells you absolutely nothing. Okay, you can analyse a race, but most people can analyse a race themselves. They don't need Ruby Walsh to do it for them. And if de Bromhead and Kenny Alexander and Rachel Blackmore decide that they want to go for what they think's a soft-touch Mayor's Hurdle, then I'm going to call them out. It's pathetic that champion hurdler should be going to try and retain her title. She's going to get £7 of Constitution Hill. Yes, I think she will lose. But you go out and you're sealed. You go and you fight. I wouldn't want Celtic to be giving up trophies. I expect them to try, whatever, even if they aren't going to win. I don't expect them to just not turn up. Oh, let's go down to the first division and try and beat Alloa Athletic because we can't beat Rangers. No, that's not the way it is. You've got to go and you've got to try and fight and you've got to try and win the things that you're supposed to win. And if they go to the Mayor's Hurdle, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I don't think they will. I shouldn't perhaps rant on, but I think it is an absolute scandal if they go to the Mayor's Hurdle. Other people say, oh, they can win a race. Yeah, they can win a race. Maybe they will. But they'll lose all respect from me if they go for a Mayor's Hurdle with a champion hurdler not going for a 3 times champion. Would be absolutely scandalous and typical of the Cheltenham Festival we had. And this calls for 5 days. Anyone that would want 5 days of Cheltenham Festival, if Honeysuckle goes for a Mayor's, it's just asking for more and more and more odds-on shots. And the appeal of the whole thing is going to fall to pieces very, very quickly. We've already got 4 odds, very short favourites on the first day. It can't lose much more appeal, the Cheltenham Festival, or it's not going to be a huge thing in the future. And it's as simple as that. It should be 3 days. And having these soft touch options like the Mayor's Hurdle, really, Kenny Alexander, for all he's done for the Mayor's programme, is going to hurt it just as much by going back to a Mayor's Hurdle with Honeysuckle. That's my opinion, and whether people like it or not, I'm going to put my opinion on my videos and I'm going to say it like it is. So I'll get on to a good rant about the IHRB and their treatment of McNally next in the video. On to Ronan McNally, a small trainer with his own business, and he's pulled a couple of strokes. He's got horses down to marks 40-50 pounds below where they should be. Is he the first trainer in Ireland to do that? I don't think he is. His horses haven't tried, so they say. Are they the first horses in Ireland not to try? How many horses tried in the Facile Vega race 2 weeks ago, or the Gaelic Warrior race a week ago at Tramore? Are they watching all those now? Every JP McManus runner this season's been trying. Is that what the IHRB are trying to tell everybody else? Only Ronan McNally, who they didn't inquire on the day into the running of these horses, but they've gone back. Are they going to go back to every race that Florian Porter ran before he won the Stairs Hurdle then? Are they going to go back to every race that Galopin Deschamps ran before he ran the Martin Pipe? Because these horses showed extraordinary improvement for the application of cash as well. But it seems like, oh, McNally's a small guy. We're big bullies. We can go in there with a couple of baseball bats and give him a damn good kicking, and we'll look like big guys. But we're not going in against anybody else that might have a baseball bat or it might be a bit bigger than us and punch us back, because we're not going to win that battle. So we'll just go and punch him because we can beat him up. No bother at all. And we're going to look like we're policing the sport now because we've caught him out. And everyone else is going to say, oh, look what they did to McNally. We better not do that. It's going on every day in Ireland. It's triers at the front and non-triers at the back. Every race in the maidens just about. So are they trying to make out that they're going to police the sport properly? Give me a break. They're going after McNally because he's an easy touch. An absolute easy touch. And everybody knows it. And it doesn't matter how much they clamp down on McNally. Everybody knows what's going on in Irish racing every day of the week. And they're not fooling anyone by going after McNally. They're just going after a soft touch. When they go after one of the big yards or one of the big owners, then I'll believe it. Until then, yeah, they're just making fools of themselves, really, because everyone knows. They're making an example of McNally, and it might cost the young fella a great career in the sport because, you know, his dad's been sort of maybe warned off or whatever he's going to get for the running of the two horses. But it doesn't change the fact that it's going on every day. And everyone knows it. I mean, I'm not the only person watching some of these Irish racing saying, oh, I'm putting that in my tracker. I don't think that tried. Oh, that wasn't given a hard race. Because it's going on, like I say, absolutely every day and virtually every race. It's even harder to police in the UK because there's so many races going on. But not every horse is running on their merits. Maybe some yards are running their horses on merits every day. But I can assure you that the vast majority of them aren't running on their merits every day. Oh, just give that an easy run. Oh, if you can't win 3 hurdles out, just take it home. That's what's going on. And making an example of McNally's not going to change my view on Irish racing. I mean, we all know the BHA and that's a joke, but the IHRB, by making an example of McNally, are proving absolutely nothing to me. If they want to police their sport properly, they've only got a few meetings a week. They could say, right, every jockey there against Facile Vega will want you in. Your horse didn't look like it tried very much. Your horse didn't try. And every trainer in, is that as good as your horse is? Yes, it is. Okay, we'll be watching you for the next year to see if you're achieving a handicap mark, which isn't correct. We want to see, look at the time of this race. It was 6 seconds slower than the other maiden, and yet your horse is you know, 2 fences behind here. So if we see a rapid improvement in this horse, we'll be calling you in, we'll be warning you off, etc., etc. What we've done to McNally's not the first. We're going to warn off loads of trainers. Yeah, then I'll believe it. But for me, this is just a one-off, and they're just going to make an example of McNally, and that'll be the last we'll hear of it for another year until they find another soft touch small yard that they can bully around. So anyway, that's my rant over for this week. Honeysuckle should be running in the mares, in the champion hurdle, and if they go to the mares, it's just an absolute joke. That's my opinion. I don't care if she wins a race at Cheltenham or not, and I don't think many people do. They're just demeaning the Cheltenham Festival and putting her into the mares race and embarrassing. The festival is a bit of an embarrassment already. It's got too many races and it's too easy to dodge a proper fight now. And just win an easy touch race, and that's what they would be doing. And I, for one, would be hoping that she got beaten, and then, you know, their easy touch race wouldn't even have been an easy touch, and she's going to look like probably just a bit of a lucky champion that she's gone into easy races and won them against poor opposition, and as soon as any decent opposition appeared, she couldn't cope. I don't think that's the type of champion she is. I want to see her going out in her shield, coming second or third to Constitution Hill and Stateman, or perhaps even winning. That's what I would hope. I thought her run wasn't that bad, and talk of a mare's hurdle is an absolute scandal, to be honest. So anyway, I'll be back to you next week. Hopefully it'll be all on racing. This week I am going to open the comments. I know I'm going to get all someone's bets put on the bottom of the video, but like, I want to see what people think of my view. And if you disagree, you disagree. A lot of people will think that Honeysuckle should go to the mare's hurdle. And if you think she should go to the mare's hurdle, if you can give me a good reason why a champion hurdler should go for a mare's hurdle, then I'll be happy to hear it. But it's like England winning the World Cup and then wanting to play against Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland and not go and try and retain the World Cup because they're not as good now. So we'll beat up Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland because we know we can beat them. And that's what she's going to do if she goes to the mares. So thanks for watching. Have a great week. I want to wish you all an absolutely great Christmas. And take care of yourselves and have a good time with your loved ones. Bye for now.